So, what pops into your head when you hear the phrase women's self defense? I'm guessing for a lot of us, it's images of intense physical combat, right? Kicks, punches, grappling, maybe throwing an attacker over your shoulder. But what if I told you that the absolute most effective form of self defense requires literally no physical contact at all? There's a great saying for this: the best fight is the one that can be avoided. It really flips the script, doesn't it? It totally challenges this Hollywood myth we have that staying safe is all about winning a fist fight. Instead, it introduces a much, much more powerful concept, and that is prevention. Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to be breaking down the Women's Self-Defense Guide created by the Kapokaboxe Academy. And honestly, what I absolutely love about this source material is its core philosophy. It's designed to empower women through highly practical, actionable safety advice. And there is absolutely zero victim blaming here. Instead, it's all about taking proactive control. The Kapokaboxe Academy believes that true self-defense is an intelligent blend of preventing danger, identifying risks early, and knowing exactly how to act if you need to. Here is our roadmap for taking control today. We're going to cover 1. The defense mindset, 2. Everyday prevention, 3. Posture and confidence, 4. How to act in an emergency, and 5. Official reporting channels.
All right, kicking things off with phase 1, the defense mindset.
Okay, before you can physically defend yourself, your brain really has to be engaged. It's about cultivating a specific way of interacting with the world around you so that you can spot red flags way before they turn into real emergencies. And that brings us to situational awareness. It's defined as the ability to observe, evaluate, and anticipate potential threats in your surroundings to avoid them early. Basically, the sooner you identify a risk, the higher your chances are of avoiding it entirely. Situational awareness isn't about living in fear, and it's definitely not about being paranoid. It's simply about being present and plugged into your environment. It is the absolute bedrock of all personal defense strategies.
Let's be real. In practice, it's super easy to fall into vulnerable behaviors. We've all done it. Walking down the street, totally glued to our smartphone screens, or wearing headphones with the volume blasted. But doing that completely cuts you off from your environment. On the flip side, we have alert behavior. This means putting the phone away, actively observing the people and vehicles around you, and taking mental notes of potential exit routes whenever you enter a new place. Making that simple switch drastically reduces your exposure to risk. Moving right along to phase 2, everyday prevention. Having the right mindset is great, but how do we actually apply it to our daily routines? Well, incredibly small, simple changes in our habits can form a massive shield around our personal safety. Here are 4 essential steps to seamlessly weave safety into your normal day. First up, plan your route before you leave the house, and always let a trusted friend or family member know where you're going and when you expect to arrive, especially at night. Second, stick to well-lit, busy streets and avoid isolated areas like empty lots or dark alleys. Third, keep your belongings like bags and cell phones close to your body. Avoid unnecessarily displaying valuables. And fourth, this one is so relevant today. Always verify the license plate, car model, and driver's name before getting into a ride-sharing app, and share your live trip status with someone you trust.
Beyond those physical habits, there is something less tangible but equally important: your intuition. The guide gives a very firm instruction here. Trust your gut. If a location, a person, or a situation just feels off, don't try to rationalize it. Just leave immediately. It also advises keeping your distance from crowds, loud arguments, or people acting erratically. Your intuition is a literal evolutionary survival tool, so use it to put distance between yourself and potential harm.
Now for phase 3, posture and confidence.
Let's shift our focus to how your body communicates to potential threats before a single word is even spoken. You might be surprised to learn that predators can assess a target's vulnerability in a matter of seconds, literally just by watching them walk. Criminals look for easy targets, people who appear insecure or vulnerable. Think about a targeted posture, looking down at the ground, a hesitant or slow walk, maybe physically shrinking or closing off your body. Contrast that with a confident posture, open shoulders, head held high, walking with a firm, purposeful stride, and actively scanning the environment. A confident walk isn't just about looking good. It acts as a literal, invisible shield that deters attackers from choosing you in the first place.
Of course, true confidence comes from actually knowing you can handle yourself if things go wrong. And this is where formal training comes in. The guide outlines the benefits of real self-defense training at places like the Kapokaboxe Academy. It's not just about throwing punches. Training increases your reaction capacity, it builds immense mental self-control, and sharpens your decision-making under stress. Physically, it teaches you basic, essential release strikes. So how to break free if someone grabs your wrist, pulls your hair, or attempts a choke.
It also improves your sense of distance and your ability to dodge. All this physical capability reinforces that confident posture we were just talking about. Transitioning to phase 4, how to act in an emergency.
Look, we have to acknowledge that sometimes, despite our absolute best efforts, violence occurs. If prevention fails and you find yourself in an immediate risk situation, the guide is very clear on the high-stakes actions you need to take for survival. First and foremost, if there is an active threat, call 190. That's the military police in Brazil. Immediately. Do not hesitate. Second, make noise. Scream, alert neighbors, draw as much attention to the situation as humanly possible. Third, try to seek out a public, safe, and populated place. And finally, if, and literally only if, it is physically safe to do so, begin gathering evidence, like saving threatening messages or taking photos of injuries. But remember, your immediate physical safety is always, always the priority. Once you are physically safe, the bureaucratic process begins. And the guide offers some incredibly reassuring advice here. You might think you need a mountain of evidence to get help, but you really don't. A police report, the Boletim de Ocorrência, is all you need to start the process of getting a protective measure. You do not need a lawyer present, you don't need photographic evidence right away, and you certainly do not need the aggressor to be present. You just need to go to a women's police station, known as a DAM, and file that report.
And finally, phase 5, official reporting channels. So what resources are actually out there to help you? Brazil has a pretty comprehensive toolkit of channels that are free, confidential, and designed specifically to support victims. Knowing which number to call can save critical time. This distinction right at the top is crucial. 190 is the police emergency number. You use this when there is immediate risk or violence actively in progress. On the other hand, 180 is the women's hotline. This is not for a break-in happening right now. Rather, 180 is a 24/7 service for guidance, support, and filing secret confidential reports about abuse. There's also a dedicated WhatsApp number functioning as a national chat via a virtual assistant named Pagu, and the 100 hotline for general human rights violations.
When it comes to in-person and specialized resources, you have several powerful options. If you need to leave an anonymous tip, 181 is the state reporting line. For in-person support, the DM, the women's police station we mentioned earlier, is where you go for police reports and urgent protective measures. Another incredibly powerful resource is the Casa de Mulher Brasileira. These are 24-hour in-person centers that provide integrated support. I'm talking police, health, and social services all under one roof. And remember, if you need legal help, the Public Defender's Office provides free legal assistance. The overarching message of the guide regarding all these resources is this: financial cost should never, ever be a barrier to your safety. Just look at these essential rights. The 180 hotline is completely free, 24/7, and strictly confidential. 190 is your absolute priority for emergencies. All official reporting, all psychological care provided by the public health system, and all protective measures are 100% free of charge. Furthermore, the Maria da Penha law strongly guarantees legal protection against domestic and family violence for women in Brazil. The system is there to support you.
As we bring this explainer full circle, let's look at one more quote from the guide that perfectly summarizes everything we've talked about today. Self-defense is not just knowing how to fight, but learning to prevent, identify risks, and act intelligently. It's really a holistic approach, isn't it? It's the situational awareness to spot a threat, the everyday habits to avoid it, the confident posture to deter it, and the clear knowledge of exactly what official channels to use if you need help.
If going through this information today has inspired you to take the next step, to build that physical confidence, and to learn from a specialized team, the source material has their contact information ready for you. You can find the Kapokaboxe Academy on Instagram at @Kapokaboxe Academy. Their pillars are discipline, respect, and evolution. Reaching out to professionals is just a fantastic way to transform this knowledge from theory right into muscle memory.
And that brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. We've covered the mindset, the prevention tactics, the body language, and the emergency resources. The tools are right here in front of you, so the only question left to ask is, are you ready to take control of your safety? Take these practical steps, apply them to your daily life, and walk out into the world with confidence. Thanks so much for joining me today. Stay alert and stay safe.